We want model solutions. And my dream for Barbados is to help this island become a model for the whole Caribbean. We want Barbados to, it will be exciting. We want Barbados to show that an island can develop a circular economy and persuade not only the rest of the Caribbean to follow suit and cooperate on this, but also be a model for every island in the world. I've been to many islands: Hawaii, Isle of Man, St. Martin I mentioned, Curacao, Puerto Rico many times, Guam, many islands. And they're all struggling to handle the waste problem. And the giveaway agreement, which we think has been signed by the government of Barbados. That's what Cahill Industries would like us to believe, that it's been signed, but I'm not sure that it has. Then I'll be talking about sustainability and waste, or rather resource management. Then I should be giving you the details of the zero waste solution, the zero waste strategy, much of which is going on the island already, so there's only some new stuff there. The other thing is to recognize the good things that are already happening on the island, and the arguments against conventional incinerators and gasifying incinerators. And then at the end I should give a summary. So first of all then, the secret memorandum and the government of Barbados, great giveaway. It's a great giveaway, as you'll see in a moment. But first of all, let's acknowledge that this group, Barbados Underground, has done a wonderful service to democracy on this island, to the future of this island, to the environment of this island, to the children of this island, by making this secret document available to everybody to read. And if they read it like me, they'll be as shocked as you know what, to read this. But we'll see. So this is a document where Cahill Energy is talking about his Barbados Waste-to-Energy project. The first thing to note is that Cahill Energy has never built, operated, or owned such a facility. So the entity that's been negotiating with your government has absolutely zero experience, practical experience, with what they've been selling. Then we hear from Cahill that this is their first Cahill project, a waste-to-energy factory using plasma gasification located in a small town, blah, blah, blah. It's in its advanced stage of its development. Our company has received wholehearted support and cooperation from the government of Barbados in the development, investment, and construction of the project. Now, if it wasn't for Barbados Underground, nobody on this island would have known that, right? How far it's been advanced. Because the project is now in an advanced stage of development, the potential risks for project development have disappeared. The key factors driving future development will be construction and operation efficiency. Therefore, Cahill has chosen to sell Cahill Energy Barbados and use the funds generated by the sale to improve its project development business. So this Cahill has just negotiated with the government for a piece of paper which it's now going to sell for an enormous amount of money to some waste-to-energy entity somewhere in the world. Incredible. All important agreements and preliminary studies about project site, raw material and product sales have already been done, inspiring strong confidence that the project's financial performance will follow the projections. With high internal rates of return, and listen to this phrase, strong grassroots political support. Now, how can a project which has been conducted in secret, that people didn't know about, in which you had no public hearings, how can you say with a straight face that you've got strong grassroots political support Now this was one of the annual reports of your financial status of your company, and you submitted this to Wall Street, you would be in deep trouble, because you're lying. You can't lie when you're talking about business on Wall Street. You can lie to the people, you can lie to your politician, but you can't lie to Wall Street. But from an environmental point of view, it'd be an excellent method if it worked, with low emissions and with a very small and environmentally safe residue. But unfortunately, the situation today and the experiences are the same today as almost 40 years ago, even if there had been and still are efforts to introduce gasification and pyrolysis on the market. Now I'm going to change gears. I'm going to change gears completely. I'm going to go from the negative to the positive. But I like it. I like being positive. I'm not a negative person generally. In my view, even if you made these plants work with a net energy gain and you proved them safe, you would never make them a sensible proposition in the 21st century. And then we have Glasgow. Now, Glasgow made the mistake of building a plant an hour from where I lived. So I had easy access. Again, they wouldn't let me visit the plant. But I did debate the owner, Rod Brydon, the former owner of the Ottawa Senators hockey team. So his experience of waste management was dealing with hockey players. Now they built, I think it was 100 tons per day plasma arcing incinerator. They got strong support from the City of Ottawa, the mayor, I think was a friend of Rod Brydon, and the council. And Glasgow would use the support of Ottawa, which is a beautiful city, around the world to launch other projects. They tried to build them in British Columbia, they tried to get one in Los Angeles, they tried to get one in Lucca, in Italy. And that was a mistake, because one of the best anti-incineration activists in Italy lives nearby, and they didn't succeed. It was promoted around the world with huge sales hype, but the facility never operated for more than a few days. They produced very little energy, and they exceeded emission standards. Now, I remember when I debated Rod Brydon, I said, you say in your pamphlet, measurements show no dioxin emissions. I said, people have contacted Environment Canada and they told us that they haven't done any dioxin measurements. So how can you say that there's zero dioxin emissions? He says, what we meant to say is that there should be no dioxin emissions because no air gets into the furnace. I said, wait a moment. How can you say that no air gets into the furnace? You're burning waste, right? What do you have in waste? Bottles. What are bottles filled with? Air. What have you got between pieces of trash? You've got air. So don't tell me you've got no air going into here. You're going to produce dioxin. Jeremy Irons, and he hosted this lovely film star, English film star, hosted this movie Trashed, which is a very disturbing movie. He visits incinerators and landfills around the world. It's pretty shocking. But one of the most shocking sections in this movie was what's happening to the albatross. Now, I'm sure you know the albatross. And the albatross flies around the Pacific. It literally flies thousands of miles. And what it's doing is collecting food for its young. And when it gets back to the Leeward Islands or whatever they are where they nest, it then regurgitates the food and gives it to its babies. The trouble is, today they're not collecting food, they're collecting plastic bottle caps and so on. So what they're finding is these corpses of albatrosses literally stuffed with plastic. And you notice that most of the color is orange or brown or red because they look like cuttlefish to the albatross. And one of the most horrible videotapes I've ever seen was to see a mother albatross feeding bottle caps to its babies. This is what we're doing to life. 9 million tons of plastic every year going into this. And there are parts of the Pacific where the tiny pieces of plastic outnumber the zooplankton by about anything from 10 to 100 to 1.